Every day is now finally bringing us closer to the end of this 30-day change in my life. Now, first I started calling it off a challenge because every single day I would share a lesson, or I'd share a little bit of advice, or just different things that affected me throughout the day that I would share with you guys, because I wanted to truly be able to try to teach a lesson out of something, or share an experience that I had, hopefully you did not have to go through, or simply just offer advice that can save you from being in any kind of situation where it's painful, it hurts, and you really don't need to be there. In doing that, I've also learned a lot about myself and truly what I'm okay with and what I'm not okay with. And as well as I've taught myself what I should look for and what I should not look for in who I want to become. Now, I'm going to explain that in a second. But the main focus of what I want to talk to you guys about today is not just learning about myself and what that's brought me to, but also about what I've gained along this way. Now, the first things that I've learned are, one, I've always known I'm not a patient person, but now it almost seems that I've gained a kind of patience. And if I'm being 100% transparent, I'm not saying that I'm all of a sudden now patient. No, that's not at all what I'm saying. I'm still kind of impatient, but I've learned that I speak into existence my own reality. So the fact that I kept saying that I was an impatient person, I was impatient, would only make myself more impatient, would only make myself more of the thing I did not want to be. I didn't really enjoy always being impatient, always not being able to wait for things, but I didn't realize I was causing myself to constantly, whether it was consciously or subconsciously, in the back of my head, almost like tap my foot and be wanting something a lot quicker, whether it was an answer, a response, it could even be just like a day that I was waiting for because of whatever reason. But now I realize patience, because at the end of the day, the right things come at the right time. It does not matter how badly you want something or someone or a job or money or just different things. God has a plan for us all. We have to be patient and we have to enjoy the journey and stop trying to rush to get to the destination. Because at the end of the day, life is mainly a journey. And I've realized now that, I know it kind of sounds a little cliche, but at the end of the day, what I come home to is my family, myself, and God. And at the end of the day, if I'm not appreciating those three things, which are the whole reason why I was impatient in the first place, then I'm not really living. And that's when I started to make changes in my life and truly start to become more patient, more understanding, more of a lot of different things that I never was before. I was always on edge. I was always agitated. I was always angry because I was always trying to rush things. I always wanted to be like, you know what? How can I make more money? And I ended up wasting a lot of money on things that don't make any sense. And I don't even have money to waste to begin with, and that's when I realized, okay, there is no get rich quick scheme. There is no, okay, you can do this and then all of a sudden overnight you'll have like all this money. There is no such thing as that. Life is a journey. Same thing with fixing your finances. Same thing with getting out of a lot of different situations. It's easy to dig yourself into a hole really fast. It's hard to dig yourself out. It's the same thing. When you hit rock bottom, when you feel the most alone, when you are struggling the most with whatever it is you're going through, we got ourselves there 99% of the time. And it's the accountability piece that truly will help you start digging yourself out of that hole. There are some situations where we may not play a part in it. God may intervene, or there may be something that happens to us that we genuinely had no say in. And that is what life we were meant to live. But that doesn't mean you give up. If something or someone tries to tell you what you cannot do, that does not mean you listen to them. I've learned this and I've lived my life by this. Now, I'll share something with you guys as well. If you, and this is just a scenario, right? Say you injured yourself, right? And you had to go be in a wheelchair for a little while. And the doctors didn't have an answer for you of when you'd get better. The doctors couldn't tell you when you were going to be able to get back up and walk again. They just said, keep stretching, right? Keep going to PT or physical therapy, right? But they couldn't give you a definitive answer, right? But they know it's going to take about a year or more if you are going to get back to half of the normal things you did before. But they won't tell you that. They'll always say, okay, yeah, you're making good progress, right? You know, you're still in your wheelchair. It's been a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you're wondering, okay, are they really going to try to help me to get better? Or am I going to have to take responsibility, suck it up, learn what I've learned from PT that's potentially helpful or not helpful, which 99% of PT is not helpful. Now, let's be realistic. They get paid for you to keep coming back. Yes, there are some. I'm not saying all PTs are like this. Sorry. I'm still trying to get better from being sick. But there are some that just want you to keep coming back. That's how they make their money, right? So they'll tell you, yeah, sure, just keep doing this, right? Like a dead bug. Or they'll have you do a little stretch that you feel is kind of silly, right? But you're like, okay, this is not what I want to do. If you come from somebody who used to say, train 6 days out of the week, and now you're barely struggling to get out of your wheelchair, that's not what you want to hear. You don't want to hear, okay, take it slow. You don't want to hear like rest, but you know in the back of your mind, okay, you kind of have to, right? Because you're not trying to re-injure yourself. You're not trying to have anything happen that's not supposed to. So you listen to them because they're supposed to be people of authority. They're supposed to be who are helping you. But at the end of the day, this is the case 99% of the time. They are not there to really help you. You have to decide to help yourself. You have to decide when you leave that PT, what more can you do? Can you look at videos online? Can you do more than just those stretches, those 30 minutes you had with them, right? You have to decide how soon do you want to get out of that chair. It's the same thing with life. If you get knocked down and you stay down and you do the bare minimum to try to get back up, you're not going to get back up. You have to decide. You have to grit and bear it, push through the pain safely, and decide, am I going to be the type of person that sits in this wheelchair or lies down that does not get back up? Or am I going to be somebody that says, you know what? I'm going to take what you've shown me. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to ask you for more. And if you can't give me answers, I'm going to find somebody that can. You have to decide, are you a self-starter? Are you somebody that picks yourself up when you get knocked down? Or are you somebody that lays there and says, well, the world did this to me. Well, I was put in this situation. It happened to me. I don't know why. You don't blame God. You don't blame anyone else. You need to take accountability for your actions, suck it up, and move on. Move forward in your life. If you're comfortable where you're at, you need to get uncomfortable. You need to start questioning things. It does not matter if it's work-related. Obviously, if it's work-related, be safe, right? Everybody's different. Okay, I'm not telling you to do certain things that are horrible or horrendous. That's not what I'm saying. But genuinely, ask yourself, am I really happy where I'm at? If the answer is yes, then perfect, great. You know, that's good. But you have to also ask yourself in that same sentence, am I who I want to be then? If you're happy where you're at in life with your job, with your career, with your family, with everything, okay, that's perfect. But then are you in a place where you can be healthy and be around for that long term, right? Are you in a place where if your job for whatever reason said, okay, you know what, hey, you no longer work here tomorrow, we're closing down or we're going bankrupt, are you in a place where you're okay financially to be able to support that action? Never be comfortable just being okay. That is something that I'm still pushing myself to this day on, because I've been in places where I've been miserable and I would do anything to get out of there, and I was so impatient, so desperate, but that only pushed me in the worst situations. I know now that I made the right decision and where I'm at right now in life and on the path that I'm going, that slow and steady will get me to where I need to be at. My growth on YouTube, even for an example, I'm not exploding, but the fact that I'm at 172 subscribers to me is insane. I couldn't even fit more than like 2 or 3 people in my car. And I thought when I had 12 subscribers, I was like popping. To me, that's a lot, right? To everybody else, maybe nothing. But to me, that's a lot. And I'm grateful for each and every single one of my subscribers. I'm grateful for each and every person that I meet in my life. I'm grateful for each and every person that I get to help in my life. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters. I'm learning to love the journey and truly start living. And it's not an easy thing. There are some days where I miss kind of just, in a way, like hoping for a destination. And there's still days where I'll still do that, right? Or I'm still looking forward to a certain day because of a certain reason. And like I'm guilty of that. I admit that. But at the end of the day, I realize, you know what? Every day should be that exciting because I'm alive, because I woke up, because I get to see you guys, because at the end of the day, you all matter. And that's something to me that I have to start really working harder on, is appreciating every little thing. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I don't, because I do. I've been working really hard on it, especially now as I'm getting better from being sick. I was bedridden for a few days, and now that I'm able to get up, move around, sit in my car, be outside, talk to you guys again, I'm grateful for that. That's something that, like I said, it's part of living life. And I know that God had to tell me kind of like slow down, focus my thoughts, do better videos, make better stuff, and to truly express how I feel and who I am better. Because I realized I was almost in a way just pumping out content for a little while without having a direction. But now, as it's on day 16 of this journey of me improving myself, I'm able to admit that, and I'm able to admit the fact that I do want to start living and enjoying the journey a lot more than just a destination. Now, that being said, okay, the biggest thing that I can share with you guys today, as far as when it comes to news or updates, is this. As every day I get a little better and I'm able to do a little bit more and I'm able to keep pushing myself, I'm not stopping in 30 days. At the end of these 30 days, I knew that I was going to be, before I got sick, I knew I was going to be in a great shape in my life and I was going to do certain things, but I'm okay with that because I know that just because it was the first 30 days doesn't mean I'm going to give up. Doesn't mean after these 30 days I'm going to stop trying to improve myself physically, mentally, emotionally, every single way that I can improve myself. No. It just means once I'm better, I'm going to push harder, safely, of course. I was always that person that would push themselves past their limits because that's the only way I know how to do things. Am I saying that's the best way to do things? No. But it's the only way I know how to do things. My brothers and sisters out there, what I truly want to share with you all is that I'm learning to take I have to do things and saying that out loud to I get to do things. And that right there is just a powerful little tweak that changes everything and will help you start living and loving life for what it is. And it doesn't guarantee you tomorrow. No one's ever guaranteed tomorrow. I'm not even guaranteed the rest of my day today. But you know what? I would rather know that I spoke to you guys, put my heart out, put every single one of my emotions out there, expressed how grateful I am for today. And if God decides it's my time, it's my time. That's how I feel about it. I know I've done everything that I can to try to be the best son, to be the best father. And if today was my last day on earth, then that was my last day. And I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that nobody's sad around me that I meet, that if they are, I can try to help them. And that if anyone's struggling with the struggle that I understand and can relate to, I offer them advice that I hope they take and that I pray that they hear. Because at the end of the day, as long as I made an impact while I was here and try to help others, that to me is more than a fulfilling life. And I didn't always think that way. But I'm realizing now that, you know what, as long as I'm present with my family, as long as I'm doing everything that I can to try to improve our situation, even though it's not improved the way I want it to, or my mom's able to fully be retired and be able to be resting, do whatever she wants, I know I'm going to get there. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I know as long as I keep pushing and as long as I keep going down this path, we will get there. I know that nothing comes easy, and that's okay, so I wouldn't want it if it did. I've also learned the biggest and most important thing about myself, and that is, even though I was an impatient person and somebody who struggled putting myself down a lot, that's no longer who I am. That's no longer how I want to be. And my brothers and sisters out there, when you start truly understanding your purpose, when you start truly trying to live the way God intended for you to live and follow the path that He wanted for you to take, everything changes. Yes, I may have lost a lot, whether it's materialistic and whether it's people, regardless of the fact it is, but the fact that I can wake up every day, the fact that I'm blessed enough to be able to go into work, the fact that I'm blessed enough to be able to have my family, those are all things that I will never take for granted again. The fact that I get to be able to exercise and do things and pick myself up, that in itself is an accomplishment. And there are things that I would love to share with y'all, but I know right now it's too soon. Maybe one day down the road I will, and it'll all make sense. But as far as when it comes to right now, my one goal above all is to be able to love life for what it is. The goods, the bads, every single thing along with it. To be able to set the proper example for my daughter. To be able to give my mom the world she deserves. No matter what it takes. Because my family is all that I have. My family is all that matters. That and God are the two main things in my life. And to anybody out there, if you're stressing or struggling or fretting or upset over something, ask yourself, is that something you're so stressed out about, so upset about, so worried about, really that important to you? Because if you died tomorrow, would that thing, would that person, would that whatever it is that's so obsessed about you be that worried? And I know that that sounds kind of dark, and I'm not trying to say it like to be, oh, you know, like, do you matter that much to that person? But sometimes we put importance on things or people that do not feel the same way back. And at the end of the day, if you know for a fact that that thing, that person will still be here after we go, because that's how life is, then is it really worth you stressing as much as you are today over it? You have to take a second. You have to really listen and ask yourself, is this really worth as much importance as I'm putting it on? Because there are times where we put all this importance on things that really don't matter. We put this huge focus on things that we really shouldn't. I know I'm guilty of that. I've done that way too many times to count. There are still some times today that I still do that. I'm not perfect by any means. But everything that I share with you guys, regardless of whatever video it is, regardless of whatever day it is, I try to give you knowledge, and I try to give you my advice from what I've had to go through. Because I want to be able to help the right people. I want to be able to reach the people who are out there looking for answers and who may not know where to look. Because that was me. You know, I teach myself everything that I want to learn. But doesn't mean I know everything? No. I'm still struggling to try to understand a lot of things. But at the end of the day, that's life. I'm grateful to be able to be alive. I'm grateful to be able to live in it. And I'm grateful to be able to help anybody that I can. If I was in a better spot financially, would I want to do more? Without a doubt, I would. But I realize now, the best way I can help people is by talking to people. The best things that I can do is offer advice. I didn't want to make YouTube videos to just kind of be that person that does pranks on YouTube. That's not my thing. You know, to people that do that, that's your thing. You know, I'm not somebody that wants to be like, oh, you know what? I'm a good person. I'm going to give money to homeless people and record them. That's not me. If that's your thing, that's your thing. You know, I'm not talking bad about it to anybody. I don't even want to talk bad about anybody like that. But at the end of the day, it's not who I want to be. That's not what I want to create. I want to create content where I'm able to speak to you guys. I'm able to talk to you guys about certain experiences, certain decisions that I've made that help me to be able to be better, live better, or just truly look at things in a better light. That's the kind of content I want to make. Be able to help others. Be able to inspire. That's the kind of content I want to make. There is a seemingly high demand, at least in my world and what I've seen, of issues that are going on in the world. And at the end of the day, I would rather be a positive ray of light because there's enough problems. There's enough misery. There's enough sadness. There's enough a lot of things in the world right now. And my brothers and sisters out there, if you found this account and you made it this far in the video, you enjoy videos like this, or you just want to see somebody who can show you what you can do in 30 days to improve your life and improve who you are as a person, then follow along in this journey. I'd love to hear from some of y'all. And if you don't want to, like, say, comment anything too personal, just drop an amen at the end of this so I know you made it this far. And I'm grateful to be able to see each and every single one of you. Just know you matter, you're important, but above all, I hope you have a great day. Every single day should always be a great day. It's great to see you all. Sorry this video was so long. I appreciate every single person that stuck around this long, and I wanted to thank you. I'll talk to you more all tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you again.